So House lawmakers taking the first steps toward denying federal funding to so-called sanctuary cities. Now, this move comes in response to the murder of Kate Steinle, allegedly at the hands of Juan Lopez Sanchez, an illegal immigrant with a history, a lengthy rap sheet of felony convictions, most of them drug-related, and then 5 deportations, after which he made his way back into the country before he took her life. Congressman Trey Gowdy blasting the president for what he says is his inaction.
The president said that he saw Trayvon Martin, he saw his son. Well, I can tell you, those of us that have daughters saw our daughters in Kate Steinle. And he's got 2 of them too. So at a minimum, you ought to pick up the phone and tell the Steinle family that I grieve for you. And you do it privately. I don't care what he says, but that'd be a nice thing to do.
Joined now by Katherine Timpf, a reporter for the National Review and a Fox News contributor. Jessica Eherlich is an attorney and former Democratic congressional candidate. Welcome to both of you. So the House has moved on this. The Senate is taking action as well. Katherine, let me start with you. Will it get through, and will it make a difference?
Well, at least they're trying. Democrats they don't support the bill. Most don't support the bill, and a lot of them are saying it's because it sounds like something Donald Trump would like. They're calling it Donald's bill or Donald Trump's bill, and that's just absolutely ridiculous. Is this high school? I don't care how you feel about Donald Trump. Clearly something needs to be done here, and the very least you can acknowledge that. Whether you agree with this specifically or not, you can offer an alternative or at least acknowledge that there needs to be something that changes.
Yeah. Jessica, is it okay that more than 100 cities in this country do not pay attention to the immigration laws that are on the books?
Well, I don't think that they're not paying attention. They've got, the sanctuary cities.
In fact, it's quite deliberate. They're ignoring them quite deliberately. In fact, you're right.
Right, but they're doing them, variously for different reasons, and one of them is to actually have more protection for people and not less. The goal of sanctuary cities is not to make sure that felons are roaming the streets.
But that's what happens.
I don't think anyone in the United States wants to have it, right, which is the problem. So now they need to fix that. But I think what's happening here, and on a political level, which I don't agree with, is that they are just doing this sort of Band-Aid piece of law and legislation that doesn't address the larger issue that we have here, which is we have porous borders, we have a lack of a comprehensive immigration program and nothing being moved on, and we've got a majority of Republicans in the House and the Senate. This is their opportunity, and they're just doing something, I think, right now that's political, because Donald Trump is the one who brought it up, and even Kate Steinle's mother gave him credit for that and bringing attention to it. But where is the movement to do something larger? Is this just because
you know
the
what?
2016
Everybody's talked about doing something
up,
larger for a long time, but it hasn't happened, and you're right about that.
Exactly.
But cutting off the funding to these cities, it's something that they will feel. When they don't get that money, they will feel it. And will they change their ways because of it is the question. Hold on, let me finish, please. So, when Trey Gowdy says, sanctuary city, sanctuary for whom? Clearly, it was not a sanctuary for Kate Steinle. And I think that really hits home. Where's her refuge? Where is she going to feel safe in a city in the United States of America? Katherine?
It's really disgusting how the whole thing has been treated. Like he also said with Obama not really reaching out to the family. He's supposed to be the president for everybody and not just there when it's politically convenient or in tragedies where it's politically convenient. It was a total lack of justice, and it's not a sanctuary for her. There's a reason why you're supposed to work with the federal government to keep it safe. It clearly didn't work, and that wasn't fair to her, and we need to change it for her and so it doesn't happen again to another family.
All right, so are you in favor, Jessica, of cutting off the funding to these cities?
I am in favor of having a larger, more comprehensive bill. This bill is unpopular on the right and the left because no one thinks that it does what it's purported to do, and I seriously doubt that it's actually going to be passed through the Senate and actually become law. This is more of a political maneuver, and that's very disappointing to me. And I think, you make a very good point about where there's sanctuary, but we see this continuously in terms of general law enforcement. We just had someone, as you all reported, walk into
How is it just political
movie
when
theater
it addresses
in Louisiana?
The actual source of funding?
To make a comparison, you can kind of say, well, there's violence everywhere, but I don't know where that gets us, really. And specifically, if you are a family member of one of these people, and there are so many of them out there, who was killed by someone who should never have been in this country in the first place because of their illegal record, and because they, in many cases, had been deported and came back. We're not talking about immigrants. We're talking about convicted felon illegal immigrants in this country.
Absolutely.
So,
and he never should have been out of custody.
To just say, oh, there's
ever.
a lot of violence, and gee, I wish we could do something about it, that doesn't get us anywhere, Jessica.
Well, that's not at all what I'm saying. I'm saying this person never should have been out of custody, and he should have been kept in the law enforcement system.
But it was because it was a sanctuary city. That's what happened. That was the problem. That's the reason that it happened. It's not the reason every crime happens.
We don't know that that's the only reason that it happened.
Ladies,
I think there's a little incompetence here as well going on.
We got to leave it there. More to come on that. Have a nice weekend. Thank you very much for being with us. Thanks.